Okay, so hey guys, so I have a super fun lesson planned for us today, and it is all about word spacing. Does anyone have any idea what word spacing is or why it's important? No? Okay, so I'm gonna tell you. So, word spacing are the spaces before and after a word in our sentences, and it is super important because it is important that we identify the spaces to keep our sentences flowing well. It helps them make a lot more sense, and it keeps us from getting run on sentences. A tight, jumbled up mess of a sentence isn't really what we want to achieve. So, another example of spaces, like in our everyday life, is when you're going to lunch, you have a space in front and behind you. You and your friends never line up for class or lunch all jumbled up and tight, squeezed together, because that's just not fun. So, you always want to keep a space between you, and that is also why it's super important for our words to have spaces too. So, I'm going to read you a sentence from the book Pete the Cat's Groovy Imagination. You can even see spaces on the front of the cover too. Spaces are everywhere, and it's important that we look for them too. Okay, so the sentence is, the box was big and it was groovy. The box could be something new. Okay, so notice how the letters have just this white space between them. That's our spaces. And notice how when I read, I take a big pause between each word. The box was big and it was groovy. The box could be something new. If there was no spaces here, the sentence would just be, the box was big and it was groovy. And see, it doesn't sound right. So it's very important that we look at our spaces. So I have something cute and fun here that helps us identify our spaces, and this is our spaceman. So I'll give you guys a closer little look. He's all sparkly. And so I'll show you. You're probably wondering, how's the wooden stick gonna, help us identify our spaces? Well, this is how. So I'm gonna hold the stick man like this, and I'm gonna go to my sentence, and I'm gonna put the spaceman between each word. The spaceman should be the space between all of our words. So I'll give you guys an example. The box was big and it was groovy. The box could be something new. Okay, so let's do another example of that. Suddenly, Pete's imagination grew and grew and grew. So now I'm going to do it fast so you guys can get a better understanding. The box was big and it was groovy. The box could be something new. Alright, so now you guys are all going to get your own spacemans, and we'll even decorate them together once we get a good understanding of our spaces. So, what I want you guys to do with your spaceman is I want you to come up, and I'm going to find us another page, and I want you guys to show me a space in this sentence. So, the sentence is the same. The box was big and it was groovy. The box could be something new. So I want all of you guys to come up here and show me the spaces. See, there's a space here, and here, and here, here. It just keeps going. So good job, guys. So now we're gonna do some solo practice on our own, and then we can all get together and talk about what we got. So I'm gonna give you a sheet of paper with a sentence on it, and I want you guys to grab your markers, and here's what we're gonna do. So the sentence says, the monster child was still screaming. What will we do? Said Mrs. Monster. So with your markers, I want you to take your page with the sentence and mark between each word and mark all the spaces on the page. Alright, so good job. And now that we're done, your papers should look just like this one. So do you guys see the orange marks between each word? That's what we want to see. So now I'm going to take my spaceman and show you, along with our new sentence, how he works. So, the monster child was still screaming. What will we do? Said Mrs. Monster. Alright guys, so good job. So another thing that can help us with our spaces is when you're reading a sentence, or when someone's reading a sentence to you, you can use clapping to help you identify the spaces. So using the same sentence, so it would be, the monster child was still screaming. What will we do? Said Mrs. Monster. So this can help you if you never have your spaceman, or you're just having a little bit of trouble trying to find the spaces, or you're writing and you can't think of where to put your spaces in words. So the clapping can come in handy. So now we're just going to do a little review. Alright, so what is word spacing? Good job. It is the spaces before and after our words in a sentence. Why is it important? Yes, it is super important because it helps us identify the spaces, and it helps us make sense to the sentences that we're reading and that we're writing. Okay, so what is this called? Yep, this is our spaceman, and what does he do? Yes, he helps us find the spaces in our words and helps us flow our sentences better. And what is the exercise that you can do if you don't have your spaceman with you? Yes, the clapping exercise. So that is all for our word spacing lesson.